From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
So I don't have to tell you, Miss Russell's an attorney who writes tween books now instead of legal briefs, which is a great loss to my profession and a great gain for the rest of the world. She's originally from St. Joseph, Michigan. She has 2 daughters, and you guys have a special treat because you're going to meet one of them. You're going to meet Nikki right here, who helps with Miss Russell's books. She's written 3 books so far. We sure hope that she writes a whole lot more. And the reason is, and I don't have to tell you guys in the audience, that being a tween and being in middle school basically bleeps. It gets better. But the way that it gets better, you have to have your friends to help you navigate it. Your friends, your family, sometimes your teachers. And a lot of times it's a journal so that you can talk to yourself. If you were here for the last speaker, Mr. Say said it's really important to keep a journal. But a lot of the times that you get through, the way that you get through being a tween and being in middle school is with a favorite author who kind of shows you the way and helps you a little bit escape from your own life at the same time that she teaches you how to get through it. And that's Miss Russell here, and I want you all to welcome her.
Whoops. You hear me? Okay. Hi, everybody. As I was just introduced, my name is Rachel Renee Russell, and this is my daughter, Nikki Russell. And how many of you have we already seen at the book signing? Yeah, raise your hands. Okay. If you still have books that you want signed and you didn't get a chance to talk to us, we'll be happy to talk to you after this or whenever. Just follow me around and let me know that you want your book signed if you have something, okay? I'm just going to talk a little bit about Dork Diaries, and then we're going to have Nikki dorkify a few people in the audience. Now, does anyone have any idea what it means to be dorkified? What she's going to do is just randomly pick a half dozen or so people. We don't know how many people we're going to be able to get to, but she's going to pick a few people, and then we're going to convert you into a Dork Diaries character, just for today, not in the book, but just for today. So kind of keep an eye, and if you see anything up there that looks familiar, it might be you that she's chosen to dorkify, okay? So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do question and answers. And do we have till what time? Till, is it 3:30? 4:30? 4:30. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So to get started, I've got my little notes here in my notepad. To get started, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what it's like to be an author. And basically, I've come up with 7 really good reasons why I love being an author. The first reason that I love being an author is that I get to work from home. Now, I'm originally from Michigan, and I relocated from Michigan to Virginia about maybe 2 years ago. And my mom came to visit last Thanksgiving, and she's been here ever since. So working from home has given me great quality time with my mom. So that's a great thing about being an author. And if anybody's considering being an author, that's something to consider, that you can work from home and spend a lot of time with your family. Now, when I was little, my mom would tell me stuff like, "You're still up, go to bed, it's late." Or she'd say, "I fixed this sandwich for you, you didn't eat all your food, eat the crust will make your hair curly." Or she'll say, "I think you need a bath." Well, even though she told me those things as a child, she's been telling me them since she's been visiting me. So it's always great to have your mom around to tell you to take a bath at 50 years old, you know. So anyway, my second reason for really loving and enjoying being an author is that I get to write and illustrate. Most authors either write the book or you have an illustrator that illustrates. I started out doing both of them. With book one, I worked on that, and then we decided to start releasing 2 books a year. So at that point, I let my daughter Nikki take over, and this is Nikki here. So she's been illustrating books 2, 3, and she'll probably do all the future ones too, so that way I can dedicate more of my time to writing. Now, I knew Nikki had the potential to be an artist back when she was like 5 years old. And I'll tell you the story of what happened. I spent like $1,000 fixing up her bedroom and putting up all this fancy wallpaper. It had like the lower panel was stripes and the border was hearts, and then it had something at the top. Like $1,000, and it took me like 5 or 6 days to put all the wallpaper on the wall. So when I got done, I said, Nikki, come look at your new room. And she was like, wow, thank you, Mom. So I went down to the kitchen and started preparing dinner, and about an hour later, she said, Mom, come up, look what I did. She had taken a jumbo magic marker, black, and just drawn all over the walls. And I was very upset, but then I thought, well, look at the good side of this. Her trees looked really good, and I could tell the squirrel was a squirrel, and I could recognize, her and her dad and me and her sister in the picture. So I thought, this kid might have some latent talents here. The other thing about Nikki is that as a child, she was very hyper, so we had to be very careful with the sugar. So anyway, she grew up to be a really, really good kid. So now when I work with her, I'm able to meet most of my deadlines, and she's a pleasure to work with, and I think she's probably a better artist than I am, actually. So whenever we're a little behind, the cool thing is with Nikki is I give her a little, normally we do like 6 pencils a day, and that's when she just draws out the designs for, an artwork for each book. When I give her a little sugar, it goes from 6 pencils a day to like 80 pencils a day, because she's like, gets really geeked up. So even her hyperness as a kid and the fact that she likes drawing on anything, even her bedroom walls, actually paid off, and we're taking complete advantage of it. The third reason why I like being an author is that you can start working at an early age. You can be 7 years old and start reading and writing and being an author. You can start at 9 years old, you can start at 15, or you can start as an adult. I actually started writing seriously at age 48, so I really started late. But if you're seriously interested in being an author, there's no reason why you can't start now, whether you're 6 years old or 60 years old. The first book that I wrote was called Donny and Ronnie, and I wrote it in 6th grade. And Donny and Ronnie are my twin brothers, and it was a picture book. And again, I think I was in about 6th grade at the time, and it was really bad, but I thought, it was really fun to do. It went something like this. Ronnie and Donny are twins. Ronnie and Donny like to play. Ronnie and Donny like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Ronnie and Donny have a dog named Sandy. This is Ronnie and Donny. Goodbye, Ronnie and Donny. The end. And that was it. So I've gone from that to Dork Diaries over the years. So no matter how much you might stink now as a writer, just keep at it and you'll get better. So anyway, my brother came out with me today, and I was going to tell him, I was telling him I was going to talk about the book, and that I wanted to introduce him and my mom. And he's like, well, whatever you do, don't call me Donny. My name is Don. So I want you to turn around and say hi to Don, but you have to say, hi, Don. Don. Yeah, he doesn't do the Donny anymore, it's Don. And then my mom, where's my mom at? Oh, right there. That's my mom. So that's a family thing here. Okay, another thing I love about being an author is that I get to make my own hours. I'm basically a night person, so I would almost rather work from like 11 at night to 4 in the morning than work like 8 or 9 in the morning. And since my children are adults, that's not a problem. The only thing is I have a little dog. Her name is Mika, and she's a Yorkshire Terrier. And I like this little notebook because it looks just like her, but that's what she looks like. Yeah, that looks like my dog. Can everybody see it? Yeah, so anyway, that's Mika. And I always get a kick out of telling this story. Whenever I work, Mika sits right next to me and she'll like play, or she doesn't really sleep, but she stays up with me. If I work from 11 in the morning to 5 a.m., she stays up too. But the really crazy thing is that I can do that and it doesn't bother me, but my dog is really grumpy and nasty when she doesn't get sleep. So it's really strange because people can tell when I've pulled an all-nighter working on Dork Diaries because my dog is snarling at people and snapping at people, and he runs into his toy box and starts attacking her toys and that. So I have to watch my schedule because I don't want it to affect my dog. So that's, anyway, I get to make my own hours. The other thing I like about being an attorney is you get to wear very comfortable clothes. And I'm sure you can, understand that as an attorney, usually you have to wear suits and, a little bow tie and be very well dressed, especially when you're going in front of the judge. Now, I did consumer bankruptcy law before I started writing full time. So I was in federal court a lot. So I was always in suits and that. And I started thinking, if I stay in law, I think I want to be a judge because I just fell in love with those robes. They're big and black and they're long and they have a big long zipper in them. So I thought, well, if I continue to work as an attorney, I'm going to be a judge and I'm going to get one of those robes. Well, the cool thing about being an author is I have a robe and it's red and fuzzy and has all these little puppies all over it. So I was able to still get that robe. It just doesn't look quite like the black robes that the judges wear. So as an author, I do spend a lot of time in my red fuzzy robe writing. The other thing I like about being an author is that I get to meet people who love my book. Like, some of you here have come out to, enjoy the National Book Festival and to, get your book signed if you have the Dork Diaries. I'm very impressed that there's so many people here because it's not always like that. And most authors can tell you stories of just sitting in a bookstore and nobody shows up or one person shows up. Well, about a year ago, our book came out in 2009, so we did a few book signings at bookstores. And last year, my daughter and I were doing our first one, and we brought stickers and punch and cookies and buttons and stickers, and we just had a lot of cool stuff to give out. And only 3 people showed up. The 3 people were a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 4-year-old. They were with their mom, and I think they just came in to use the bathroom at the bookstore. They weren't there to see us or to get a Dork Diaries book. And on the way out, they saw the free punch and cookies, so they just were there helping themselves. And in that moment, I thought, darn, I should have brought my Donny and Ronnie book. I could have read it to them. It's kind of a picture book thing. So. And then the last reason that I really enjoy being an author is that I get to tell funny stories and get paid for it. And in some instances, I get to make stuff up too. But people tend to ask me where I get my ideas, and a lot of what I write in Dork Diaries is either based on experiences I had in middle school, or sometimes they're based on experiences that my 2 daughters have. Nikki has an older sister, and she's starting to help with the books too. Nikki's doing illustrating, and her older daughter, older sister, and my older daughter will be helping to write in the future too. But a lot of the ideas come from their experiences, and it was really weird because being a parent and I was married, but I'm divorced now, so at least I had the dad, there to help raise them. But still, it got kind of difficult sometimes because you had the tears and I didn't get invited to this party, and Brandon doesn't like me anymore, and on and on and on. So tears and drama and tears. So it's really cool because they put me through a lot of stress and drama when they were little, and now I can get even with them by publishing all of their business in Dork Diaries. So that's really great, is to be able to take some of the things that they've gone through, and some of the stuff in Dork Diaries is in fact true, and some of it we make up just for fun, but So those are my 7 reasons as to why I like being an author. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about our artwork. I think I might just hold it up. It might be easier for you to see. Okay. Okay, does anybody recognize this person? Who is that? Yes, you can just yell it out. Yeah, this is Nikki Maxwell. Okay, and basically, if you're not familiar with the story, Nikki and her family moved into a new city called Westchester, and her father has a bug extermination company that he owns, and he's self-employed and has a small business, and he gets this really great contract with this snooty private school, and the people that mostly go there are very wealthy, so he, making his contract to take care of the extermination businesses for that private school system, he agrees or requests a scholarship for Nikki. So Nikki's going to Westchester Country Day, which is a private school. But this is a picture of Nikki. Now, when we draw Nikki, there's 3 styles that we use. This is our realistic picture of her. And if you compare the two, here she's basically kind of a stick figure. And then here is her drawn more realistically. So the styles we use are stick, and I'll show you another stick figure. This is our realistic, and it's still, kind of obviously cartoony, but she has a real neck. She's not just drawn as a stick. So this is the second style we use in Dork Diaries. And then the third, I'll show you another stick. This is another stick figure, and this is from our newest book. This is her as a pop star. So what style would this be in? Just yell it out. Stick figure, right. This is a stick figure. So we use the realistic, we use the stick figure, and then we use what's kind of the comic strip or the comic panel. And here you can see this tells a little story. And we see that she's half asleep. And actually the setup to this is that her mom put her dad on a diet and that he sometimes sneaks in to eat in the kitchen in the middle of the night. And she can tell whenever her dad is snuck into the kitchen and had a snack because the milk has been left out, and by the time she gets it in the morning, it's sour because it's been sitting out from like 1 or whenever his midnight snack was till when she gets ready to go to school. So here she's half asleep pouring the milk. It's not coming out. She goes, huh? And she shakes it, and then it comes out splat because it's sour. And then she's like, it's going to be another one of those days. So again, we use the realistic, we use stick figure, and then here is an example of the comic strip style or the panels. So you'll see these 3 styles all throughout. So when you read it, you can say, aha, that's stick figure, or that's the realistic style, and this is the comic panels. Now, do you recognize this person, her nemesis? Just yell out the name if you know. Yeah, Mackenzie. And what style is Mackenzie drawn in? Stick. Very good. So you guys are brilliant. You can make your own book now. There you go. So that's just a little bit of the artwork that we're doing. Okay. How are we coming? How are we coming?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, great. You did good. Okay.
I must have been on that sugar.
Yeah, we loaded her up with Coke or Pepsi or something when we were back. Okay, you want to take over from here then?
Sure thing. Okay, so 7 of you lucky audiences have just been dorkified. And by that I mean I just drew you in my famous Dork Diaries style. So we're just going to take them one by one and see if you can guess each one. Now, if you think you know who it is, raise your hand so that I can choose you. Okay, here's our first one. And I'll give you a hint. She's wearing a Hello Kitty t-shirt.
You want to pull it down and hold it up? You want to pull it out there?
Sure.
Can you see it better?
Do I have a raised hand or a volunteer?
Yeah, you can show these people over here too, dear. Over there. Can you guys see it?
Yes, ma'am. Very good, very good. And here's the even fun part. I am going to give you the picture. The person that I draw.
I'll sign it too.
You go.
Okay.
Okay, on to our next one. Okay, take your time and look carefully.
Okay. Yeah, you can't go very. Yeah.
You are. You're welcome.
Yep.
How about this one? Do we know who this is? Okay. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Yes, ma'am, in the light blue. Yes, you're right. You have just been dorkified. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for coming up to get it. If I had a lot of slack, I'd give it right to you. There you go. Okay. Next up. I am doing Little Gentlemen too. Who could this be? Yes, ma'am, in the black and white. Yes, yes, you're right. Okay. All right then. And you, sir? All right, you, sir, have been dorkified. Okay, next up. Who could this be? Just one guess? Oh, two guesses? Any more? I suppose it's a little easier if you're sitting in the front, maybe. In the lovely pink Dork Diaries pin, yes. Very good, very observant. Come on up and get your dorkification. Okay. All right. I believe we have three more, so we're not over yet. There you are. You're welcome. I aim to please, especially on chocolate. Okay, who's next? Who could this be? Yes, sir, in the, yes, ma'am, in the white and pink shirt, white and purple shirt. Very good. Yep, come on over. Okay. You, young lady, have just been dorkified. Okay. Looks like we've got another young gentleman. Who could it be? Well, you in the red and white shirt back there. Who could it be? Yes, it is you. Come on up. All right, and last but most certainly not least is, there you are, sir. Enjoy. I will give you a hint. She is a little older, and she is wearing this on her shirt. She's wearing that on her shirt today. Who could she be? Yes. Yes!
Hope.
Yes! It is a host! Very good. Oh, let's sign it for you. All right. Even adults can get dorkified.
Yes.
There you are. I hope you like it.
Thank you, Hope. Thank you. Now we're going to just have a short question and answer period. So if you have any questions, if you want to line up at their microphones, and we'll take your questions for a little bit.
Are there any questions at all?
Okay, let's start over here. Yeah, you can pull it up, dear, and speak into it. Okay, yes?
Hello,
Hi, what's your name?
Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Hi. I want to know if you're gonna add any characters in any books in the future.
Yes, we will be adding new characters. There are not any new characters there's a book coming out October 11th, which is basically kind of a make your own diary. So it has like 150 pages of a story when Nikki loses her diary. So that's what the next book is about. Nikki Maxwell loses her diary, and then the other half of the book is blank. In that book, there's no new characters. We just finished up, that's book 3.5. The fourth book doesn't have any new characters, but the fifth book will. So yes, we will continue to add new characters.
Thank
And then
you.
I'll add them and Nikki will design them. Thank you, Emily. And we'll go over here.
I was wondering that you said that they're actual experiences that happened to your daughters. I was wondering what was like your favorite one that's like the most true.
This one kind of happened to my brothers in book 3. For Thanksgiving, the grandmother gave Nikki's family what? Those of you that remember. Do you remember what Nikki Maxwell's grandmother gave them for, it was an early Christmas present? Yes, you can just yell it out.
The
Ice cream maker. Well, believe it or not, my dad got an ice cream maker from his grandmother many years ago, and one Christmas, this was Christmas, not Thanksgiving, my mom brought it out, and she was making ice cream, and it was like this big and that round, and it had a crank, and she was making ice cream, and Ronnie and Donny came up, because my mom had spilled ice cream down the sides, and they decided they were going to lick up the side, and their tongues got stuck. True story. So that wacky picture in book 3 where Dad has his tongue stuck on one side and Brianna has her tongue stuck on the other side, that's a true story, only it was my 2 brothers that did that when my mom was using an old-fashioned ice cream maker. So that's a true story for you. And over here?
What was the first book you wrote?
The very first book I wrote was Ronnie and Donny. And that was about my brothers, and I did it, I think I was like in about 5th or 6th grade. I'm thinking about 6th grade. So that was the first one. Of the Dork Diaries series, the first was Tales of a Not So Fabulous Life, and that came out in 2009. So it's not too early for any of you to start writing, even if you're still in grade school yet. Okay?
Did you base any characters off of real people?
Yes. Nikki Maxwell is kind of based on Nikki as a teen, and Brianna is based on Nikki as a kid on sugar. So I would say kind of Nikki was very rambunctious and whatever. And whenever she would get too much sugar, she'd go like nuts. So I would say probably. And a few of the vignettes are based on my older daughter, but Nikki was quite the character when she was a kid. So I would say Nikki Maxwell is based on Nikki Russell. Okay, thank you. And next.
What was your favorite part about writing the Dork Diaries series?
My favorite part about writing the Dork Diaries book was all the girls that wrote me and emailed me and that I met at book festivals like this that said they loved it. So that's the very, very best part, is knowing that girls are reading it and that they love it and that they relate to Nikki and they think Nikki could be a really cool friend. So that's the best part. Thank you. And over here.
Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character would be Nikki Maxwell first and Brianna second. We're thinking about doing a Brianna book, actually. Wouldn't that be cool? Because Brianna's kind of nutty, but so Nikki Maxwell would be my favorite character. What's your favorite character?
Probably Nikki.
Nikki? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And next?
Other than yourself, who's your favorite author?
My favorite author is probably Meg Cabot. Now, do any of you know what book Meg Cabot wrote that's probably her most popular book? Princess Diaries. So I love the Princess Diaries series. And when I sat down and considered a book, I thought Diaries would be cool because of the work that she did. But Meg Cabot, and she's the author of Princess Diaries. And that became a movie, and I really loved her character, and I could relate to it. So, and we'll go over here. Thank you.
How many books do you think you're going to write in all?
As many as my publisher, Simon & Schuster, will buy from me. So at this point, we're kind of released. We didn't do it like this on purpose, but it started out with her writing her August. Well, the first diary was like 4 days in August, and then September. Then the next diary was October, and the next diary was November. And we have the diary book that's coming out in October, and then the next book is December. So if we can kind of keep things going here, we have January all the way through August. So that would give us maybe another 8 books. But as long as you continue to buy them, then I will continue to write them, hopefully. Thank you. And over here.
What advice would you give to kids who want to become authors?
Authors? To start writing now. There's no reason, you can't say, well, I'm only 11, I can't write, or I'm only 7. Even if you're 7, even if you're 11, write about things you like, write characters that are like you, turn your own self and your own family into characters. Just start writing now. The other thing you can do is read a lot too. Most authors loved books, and read a lot as children and adults. So if you start reading, that will kind of teach you what it takes to put together a good story. And then once you start to read, then you can try writing yourself. But more than anything, just start writing, and start writing today. Okay? Thank you.
There was a certain incident that I was wondering about. The family marshmallow roast.
Oh.
Was that inspired by anything?
So you mean marshmallow roast?
The marshmallow roast incident. Oh, you mean where the father flung the burning marshmallows up into the sky and they landed on Mrs. Wallabinger's house? Oh, that incident is hilarious. You know what? There have been several times in my life, unintentionally, where I've knocked over burning candles. And ironically, we were able to pick them up in time for it not to make the whole place go up in flames like Mrs. Wallabinger's rooftop. So I'm guessing that might have been where she got that idea.
But no. So we've had kind of accidental things like that, but not quite as crazy as that one. And the fire department didn't come either. So.
They're the kind of incident you eventually turn back and laugh at.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Yes?
What advice would you give to people like Nikki dealing with the mean girls that are popular?
Number one, realize that there's not anything wrong with you. People will try to make you think something is wrong with you, but it's not you, it's them. So just believe in yourself, value your uniqueness. You're different from other people, and that's a good thing. And people sometimes will say, well, you're different, that's a bad thing, but really it's not, it's a good thing.
And if I could add something, Rachel, usually people picking on you is a sign you are special, and you may be called to do something so big that when you grow up, they're going to be like, oh, I was your greatest fan. Oh, I love you. You were so wonderful and beautiful. So don't stop being you, even though people right now are making you feel terrible for it.
Yeah, and then the most important thing is talk to your mom and dad, talk to your teacher, talk to your principal. You know, sometimes you can handle things, but if it gets more than what you think you can deal with, always go to an adult or a teacher or someone in your life that can, you know, you can talk to and they can help you deal with the problem. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, dear. Okay, yes?
What inspired you to start writing the Dork Diaries series?
Okay, what was the question again?
What inspired you to start writing the Dork Diaries series?
What inspired me? I love Princess Diaries, and my girls were just starting to get out of college, and I always wanted to write a book because I had started like way back when, so it was kind of just the right time. And I sat down and started a manuscript, and I sent out the first, I think it was 75 pages to a couple of literary agents, and I got a really positive response. So I think it was probably because my kids were growing up and I had a little bit more free time on my hands. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What was your favorite book of the Dork Diaries
Of the
series?
three, I think book one is the funniest. So I think my favorite is probably book one. Plus it was the first one too. So I think my favorite is book one. Which is your favorite?
I'm only on the second book.
Book, okay.
So I don't know really.
Okay, well, very good. But yeah, book one. What's your favorite, Nikki?
My favorite book? I would say it's a book that will be coming out soon. It's our very next book. And we call it a very special name where you will be able to make your own diary. But more on that later once it actually does come out. That one is my favorite book.
Yeah, it's called How to Dork Your Diary.
Yeah, I think the more books we do, the more interesting they become to me.
Okay. Yes?
Nikki, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book of all time? Oh, that's a wonderful question to ask. I could have a moment to think about it. There were 3 bears, one with the rope, one with the stick, one with the flashlight, and they went to visit the spooky old tree. I loved when my mom would read that book to me. And the most ironic thing was right before I went to bed, so I must have been more brave then than I am now.
Yeah. And that was Berenstain Bears?
That was Bernstein Bears,
Yeah, the Bernstein Bears series.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep. Any other questions at all? Okay, well, I wanted to add to that we're kind of branching off into new territory, and there is now Dork Diaries music. So it's available on iTunes and Amazon.com and Rhapsody and any of your other favorite online stores. And it's companion music to the Yellow Book, which is Tales of a Not So Talented Pop Star. So it's almost like she and her band got together and they went to her basement and recorded some music, and then they sent it to me, and I put it on a few digital online music stores for them. So be sure to check out the music. And there's free samples online too, so you can get it free, you know, too, or you can buy it either way. But it's Dork Diaries Pop Star, and Nikki Maxwell is the singer. So, one more question, yes? Oh.
Is it on? Okay. I would like to know if there are any future book signings in the Northern Virginia, Maryland area that we can look forward to?
I don't think so. Paul, is Paul here?
That's a good question.
Yeah, he's our Simon & Schuster publicist. I don't think he's here.
Do you have a website that we can go to?
I probably should. Yep, our website is www.dorkdiaries.com, just like the book series title. So dorkdiaries.com. And when we do have a book signing, we always announce it there. Like I think today, we were in Baltimore yesterday, and then we were here today, and both of those were on the website. Kind of late, but we did get them up there. So any future book signings would be on the website. And then there's Facebook page too, so you can go there and like us. So we'll have more people. I think it's like 107,000. So we're getting up there, yeah. But Facebook and the dorkdiaries.com website. Yes.
Has anybody approached you about making a movie?
Yes, we've been approached probably 3 times. We're just trying to get the right deal, though. So at this point, there's Nothing that's been set in stone, and we are looking forward to that happening at some point in the future. So keep your fingers crossed. Oh, another thing too that we're putting on our website is our fan movies. So I think there's 2 on there now. They're really cool, where girls that are about the age of the girls here get together with their friends. And I don't know if dad's doing the video or mom or if it's another friend, but they're actually making Dork Diary fan movies. And they're only maybe 4 or 5 minutes, but they're really cool and they're really funny. And everybody tends to like the scene where dad picks up Brianna and Nikki from the movie theater and takes them to work with them. Overtime. Oh, okay. And I'll go really fast. And they go to Mackenzie's house. And then they're in Mackenzie's house using the bathroom, and Mackenzie comes out and everything goes crazy. So that's the scene that everybody's making videos of. But thank you very much. Love you guys.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.